Welcome back to my KEEPUP channel. Huge police hunt for missing Gaynor Lord enters its second week. Fears grow for mother of three, 55, as diverse search river and detectives say they have some indications why she left work early on the day she vanished. A huge search operation for missing mother of three Gaynor Lord is ongoing more than a week after her disappearance, as divers continue to scour a river near where she disappeared. Police yesterday revealed that they have some indications as to why Mrs. Lord left work early on the day she vanished, but also admitted they have not been able to establish her state of mind when she went missing with any degree of confidence. Fears are mounting for the well-being of Mrs. Lord, who walked out of her workplace at Gerald's department store over an hour before her shift was due to end and hurried through the streets of Norwich. Possessions including her rings, mobile phone, and clothing were found in a park in the city hours later, while her coat was in a nearby river. Speaking near the spot in Winsome Park where Mrs. Lord, 55, is believed to have gone into the water, Chief Superintendent Dave Buckley of Norfolk Police said it will take a couple of days or longer to complete the search of the stretch of river, which has included using sonar equipment. It's very, very challenging. The river is very, very full of water with all the rain, full of lots of debris, he said. The divers can see about 1 foot in front of them, so it's an extraordinarily challenging environment for them to work in. Mr. Buckley added that the force is keeping an open mind about what happened to Mrs. Lord, but that everything we know is pointing to a high probability that Gaynor went into the water. We've got some indications as to why she behaved the way in which she did, but what we're doing is we're just working backwards now, to actually truly understand what may have taken place. We're just cautious of everything we know at the moment because clearly we've ended up in the situation we have, which is not usual. Mrs. Lord's colleagues have insisted her behavior was normal prior to her disappearance. A co-worker at the store's Bullard's Gin concession said she seemed her normal, happy self days before. A floor manager in the city center store added, "There was nothing to suggest at all that something like this would happen. She didn't show any signs of distress or concern." But a friend of hers, who was a salesman at a nearby store, revealed yesterday that Mrs. Lord had told him she was feeling a bit funny shortly before her disappearance. It was very nonchalant. She said she was feeling a bit funny, a bit off, the man told the Daily Telegraph. He added, "We had a brief conversation about anxiety. She didn't say she did or didn't suffer with it. She had no mental health problems that I was aware of." Mrs. Lord's friend Julie Butcher said she was upbeat and happy and talking about Christmas just days before she disappeared. She added that her friend seemed fine when they last met on Tuesday last week. "We were talking. She was a bit busy, but we were talking about Christmas, and she seemed fine, no different to the usual Gaynor. She was quite upbeat and happy," Ms. Butcher told the BBC. Mrs. Butcher also revealed yesterday that she had received 2 phone calls from the mother on the day of her disappearance. About half an hour before she left the department store, Mrs. Lord called and asked where Ms. Butcher was. Ms. Butcher was forced to cut the conversation short after receiving another call from a work client, but promised to call back. "I said I would call her back and she said yes," Ms. Butcher said. The friend said she tried to ring Mrs. Lord a few minutes later but could not get through, adding, "I think she was still at work when she called me, I don't know. But maybe that's why she couldn't answer." Ms. Butcher received another call from the missing mother at 4:15 p.m. but said it sounded like a pocket call. The friend said, "I keep going over the conversation. If I hadn't answered that call from her client, would she have talked to me? I feel terrible. I feel so sorry for the family. It's not like Gaynor to do this." Police released new CCTV footage yesterday showing the last time Mrs. Lord was caught on camera, about 10 minutes before her second call to Ms. Butcher. Taken just over an hour after she left the department store where she works and several hours before her belongings were found, she could be seen walking calmly along St. Augustine Street in the city center. She was later spotted by a woman, who said Mrs. Lord appeared quite calm as she performed a yoga pose with her coat on the ground beside her. Norfolk Police, who have received around 30 calls from members of the public in response to appeals for information, don't believe anyone else was involved in her disappearance, but have not ruled it out. Underwater searches were continuing yesterday. Chief Superintendent Buckley added, "We're really concerned about her safety. We are pursuing the inquiry that she's missing and alive." The force has been liaising with Lancashire Police, which handled the investigation into Nicola Bulley, who went missing in similar circumstances earlier this year. Her body was found in the River Wyre and an inquest concluded she fell in and died of accidental drowning. Mrs. Lord's husband, Clive, 63, has not commented on the case. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.